episode 62. Or is it episode 6D2? Interesting how things sync up, how things line up. The universe seems to know what it's doing up there. And even though sometimes we're just in confusion down here, things kind of sync up in strange ways. And you either learn to go with the flow or you work against the flow, and you end up having resistance in your life and frustrations, obstacles coming in series when you don't learn how to work with the flow, I guess. Interesting. Episode 62. Episode 6D2. Because I'm actually weighing up whether to get this 6D2 that I've been focusing on, focusing hard on to bring into reality for a good while now, about a year now, or whether to just jump over the 62 and go for the EOS R that's just come out. And I've quite fallen in love with the mirrorless system, my little M50 here. And in fact, I got the M50. I was after the 62 and I went down to the shop to have a look at it, and I saw the M50, and the camera store guy started showing me this little camera, and the possibilities started whirring around in my head. The fact that it could use all my Canon lenses and all my Canon flashes and my Canon wireless triggers, and it just kind of diverted me. I went with the flow. Sometimes you got to go with the flow, and I've fallen in love with this thing. And so therefore, we're back to the same kind of scenario where I want to upgrade my 70s, my 70Ds. And actually I wanted to talk about, today I wanted to talk about this lens, the 1635 wide. That's actually the reason why I wanted to make this episode, and the universe has just done its thing again. Woo! And now I'm talking about something else. But the 70D, which I use for video, with this wide lens on, obviously it being a crop factor camera, touch the mic there I think, I'm not getting a full use of this lens, this beautiful 1635, although I've been trying it out for photography as well. And I may throw some pictures up because I took some pictures. I went to 2 carnivals in the last couple of weeks. The first, Notting Hill Carnival, which was, well, not the first one, but first was Notting Hill Carnival, and just the other day I went to the Hackney Carnival, which is the first time I actually went to that one. And I saw it as a great opportunity to try out this 1635, which I had on my 5D2. I was doing photography, and because this is a full frame, perfect. I thought I'd whack this onto my 5D2, and because I shoot with 2 cameras when I'm doing photography, I had, what did I have? My 135 on my 7D. Where's my 7D? Oh, it's over there. Yeah, and great combination. This 1635 on a 70D, what I use for another job that I do when I'm doing video, I use 270s, 270 bodies, but I'm finding it restricting. Now the crop frame is actually restricting me, so I've got to upgrade. I've had these for about 3 years now, and I've got to upgrade to improve, to be able to do what I need to do and get that frame, full frameness in. Because sometimes I'm really close to the action when I'm filming. I film bands a lot, and I tend to use 2 70s, one on wide and one with a 24mm on a monopod. So I have a stage cam which is set to wide that just gets the whole stage, and with my second camera I can pick out different instruments, solos happening at a time. So that is how I roll when I'm doing my videos. But the 70s, as good as they are, the Cash Money Brothers, I call them, my 270Ds, the Cash Money Bros. These cameras have made so much money. They've paid for themselves so many times over. It's almost a shame to part with them, but onwards and upwards. So 6D2 EOS R. 6D2 would be perfect for that job. Filming the bands, it'd be perfect. However, because the EOS R is now out, and because I've got my M50 and know of the benefits of having a mirrorless, and I'm enjoying the EVF and all that kind of stuff, I'm trying to weigh up. Do I go EOS R? Do I go 6D2? EOS R 6D2. The EOS R obviously is going to be more money, and I don't really think about it in terms of money because it will pay off. It will pay for itself in next to no time. So I'm not even thinking about that. What I'm actually thinking about more, what I'm more concerned with, is whether the EOS R is what I need or more than what I need, and whether getting the 6D2. We seem to be a juncture in photography where the DSLR, even though I said a few weeks ago I don't think the DSLR is dead, but once you've gone mirrorless and once you've got used to that EVF, it is hard to it's hard, man, to come back and spend money, not come back and use a DSLR, but come back and spend money on a DSLR. So that's the little situation I find myself in. Should I push and go for EOS R? I don't need 30 megapixels. Obviously, that's going to go through hard drives quicker. That's a downside. But all the new improvements, the low light improvements, I know it's just going to be a lot better. So what to do. Anyway, back to this lens, 1635 f4L. I found this is just an excellent lens. I mean, I knew it'd be excellent. I knew it would be really good. I knew it would do what I wanted it to do. It's beautiful. But, you know, when you see the images that come off this lens, you know, I've done some skyscape shots. I'll put some up. I've done a skyscape shots, and I've done some street photography with it, and as I said, the carnivals with it, and it's a solid lens. It's very light in comparison to its sister lens, which is the 2470 f4. Yeah, when I'm videoing, these are the two lenses that I use: the 1635 f4 and a 24-70 f4. And this one is actually heavier, even though it's smaller, as you can see. It's actually heavier. This one is quite light. This one, the 24-70, extends when you change the focal length, which I've never really liked that design about it, but the images off of it is bad, so I kind of like let it off. The 16-35 doesn't change length, which is beautiful. It's just beautiful. The contracting and extending actually sucks dust in, and I don't like that. So this one doesn't have that problem. It has image stabilization, which is what you want for video, although a lot of the time it's on a tripod or a little stand, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, man, the images off of this, I'm really impressed. I got this to replace my Tokina 11-16, which is still over here, a very good lens. Still can't completely get rid of it because it's certain situations on a crop. This is wider, and sometimes this just can't do it. This f16 can't do it, and that's why I need the 6D2 or the EOS R so I can get the full this. So what do you reckon? 6D2 EOS R. Don't worry about the hype. I ain't watching no hype. There's a load of angry people out there. I don't shoot in 4K. I don't need to worry about any of that. Do we go with what I know can do the job, 6D2? or do we think about the future? Decisions. I'm not really sure which way to go. Hopefully he can leave some comments down below to help me make my decision in the next few days, few weeks. Maybe I can make it, and we'll do a little review of what we ended up buying. Anyway, 16 to 35. I'm really impressed with it. If you were thinking about getting this lens, trust me, get this lens. You will not be sorry. It is an excellent lens. It will not let you down. I'm going to put some images up so you can have a look. In fact, I'm going to do a little show and tell at some point with this lens and the 35 1.4, which is the other part of my holy trinity of lenses when I'm shooting photography. It is 35 1.4. It is the 135 2.0, and for wides it is the blessed, beloved 16 to 35 f4. And f4 is all I need nowadays. Although to get that look you do need a 2.0 and a 1.4, and it's all magic and it's all good. Anyway, enough. Once a man and twice a child. Once a man and twice a child. Yoi!